Grab a bottle of essence and sit down, because these are the 10 best theories made by fans about the world of Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified about new videos. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Number 10. Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal takes place in the same universe as Star Wars. Many people have been talking about the possibility that Thra is actually a planet in the Star Wars cinematic or extended universe. This theory, in my opinion, has some merit, especially given the fantastical environment of Thra and some of the more mystical elements of the Gelflings, for example, dream fasting and dream weaving. And even if this theory isn't true, Yoda would make an awesome addition to the world of Thra. Number 9. Dee and Rhiannon are actually in love. You may not have totally noticed, but there's actually a lot of subtle body language between Rhiannon and Dee that may suggest hinting at a romantic relationship. Maybe we'll see more in Season 2, if it's ever confirmed. Number 8. Aughra is actually a long-lost mystic. Some fans have theorized that Aughra is not as innocent as she may come across. Although she certainly waits on the sidelines of the Gelfling-Skeksis conflict at the beginning of the show, when she is in slumber, many speculate that she is actually a form of mystic, which means she would have to have a Skeksis counterpart. A clever mystic name for Aughra is Urgra. Number 7. Chamberlain and the Hunter are brothers. This was brought to my attention while browsing the Dark Crystal subreddit. It seems unlikely, but the user that goes by the name of u/shizgig raises some very interesting points. If you can remember back to the scene where Rhiannon, a wanted Gelfling, is being held in a rope, you might notice that Skeksil, Chamberlain, and Skekmal, Hunter, have an interesting, possibly even brotherly conversation. Number 6. Buffy is a Skeksis spy. Buffy, Modulfera's loyal Fizzgig with the eye patch, might be a Skeksis spy according to this fan theory, although in several scenes Buffy is seen helping the Gelfling cause. For example, in the final battle, some think his motives are more complicated than that, but this theory seems improvable without more background information, or perhaps a second season. Number 5. Chamberlain is actually good. In the original film, Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal, Chamberlain plays an important part in helping Jen and Kira get back to the Castle of the Crystal. The most obvious reason for this might seem to be that Chamberlain is trying to bring back Jen and Kira to the other Skeksis in order to regain his honor and his position, but many fans think something else might be happening. Perhaps Chamberlain was the one who originally broke the crystal, and perhaps he feels regret for his actions and is attempting to reconcile for his mistakes. No one can know for sure, but this theory suggests that deep down, he has a good heart. Number 4. The 8th Gelfling clan. Some fans theorize that Gelflings aren't limited to just 7 clans, as suggested in Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. The existence of an 8th Gelfling clan could explain the origin of Jen and Kira, the protagonists of Jim Henson's 1982 film The Dark Crystal. Number 3. Celadon is still bad. Many Dark Crystal Age of Resistance fans really dislike Celadon for a number of very legitimate reasons. For one, she chose the side of the Skeksis over the Gelfling, choosing to believe that the Skeksis' lies were the truth. But what if she wasn't as bad as she let on? What if she has a good side, or better yet, was pretending the whole time? Number 2. Rhiannon and Dee are the parents of Jen and Kira. Did you ever wonder why in the original film, Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal, Jen and Kira can talk to other creatures of Thra? Well, a theory suggests that if a Groton Gelfling marries a Stonewood Gelfling, the child may be able to talk to animals. And another theory that agrees with this is that Jen can talk to animals with his flute. Remember that his flute was allowed to talk to the crystal shard. Honorable mentions. Before I tell you the number 1 theory, here are some honorable mentions. Hup is a Gelfling stuck in a podling's body. This theory doesn't make much sense because we know that Hup is clearly a podling from the local podling village. Nice try. Deet's parents are gay. This one didn't make it on the official list because it's not really a theory, it's actually confirmed at this point. Argot is sisters with Agra. While this is certainly an interesting and compelling theory, I don't feel I could include it in the list because there's just not a lot of evidence to support it. Deet's younger brother is an early form of Jen. Another theory from the Dark Crystal subreddit. This theory, while certainly possible, would mean that Jen's parents would also be gay, and Jen never mentions much about his parents or his parents being gay, so this theory is unlikely at best. The baby Eratham that was on Tabra's face still holds her consciousness. This theory states that the baby Eratham that was on Tabra's face still holds her consciousness. This theory might be possible, but there's no way to be sure without a second season. Hup will become the Podling King. This is probably the coolest fan theory I've come across in my journey through Thra. Hup is definitely more charismatic and intelligent than his fellow podlings, so it would be no surprise that he could rise up to the top of the podling ranks, likely to the very top, maybe even becoming the king or perhaps a mystic or Skeksis equivalent figure within the podling world. Maybe he'll even become a podling paladin like he always wanted. And finally, the number one theory. Number 1. Rianne and Deet are the same as Jen and Kira. In the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, there are a lot of Gelflings. But where are Jen and Kira? That's an easy answer. They're not born yet. Or are they? A new theory suggests that somewhere on the Dark Crystal timeline, Rianne and Deet somehow escaped the Skeksis from draining their essence and returned to Thra. Because of this, they can become Jen and Kira. Not to mention they're all Gelfling. So, this theory is practically canon. Thanks for watching my top 10 most likely theories of Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal and Netflix Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. As usual, if you liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified about new videos. See you in Thra.